Right, so this week we are looking at week 16, and it's on different types of transformations that we can do with a shape that's drawn on a grid. Okay. We'll talk about translations. We'll do a couple of those. We'll do some reflections, and I think that's pretty much it. Okay. One other shape you can talk about is a rotation, but I don't think we really get into the rotations too much. All right, so let's start with a translation. Very simple way to describe a translation is you just take a picture and you just slide it somewhere else. You don't make it bigger or smaller. You don't flip it. You don't rotate it. You literally just take it and slide it somewhere else. So it says to graph the image of this triangle after you translate it 2 units right and 7 units down. Right. So all we have to do is pretty much take each point one at a time and move them 7 units right and 2 units down. Okay. So we'll start with H. Okay. You can start with any point you want. You got to do all 3 of them. So 7 right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right, and 2 units down. Now we want to label that point. Does anybody know when you take H and you move it, what name we should give to that point? It still has an H in it, but we put like a little something extra with it. Yeah? Yeah, we usually call it H prime. That little symbol is a prime, and it just means it's the new version of H. Okay. All right, now do the same thing with G. 7 right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 units down. Okay, so we call it G, so we know which point that it connected with originally, but we put a prime with it, so we know it's the new one. Okay, and F, well, if you know where G prime is, to get to F prime, all you have to do is go down 1. So that's a quick way to find F, as long as you found G correctly. And then the last thing is connect all your points. There you go. So that's a translation. 7 units right and 2 units. Oh, did I go? I went. Well. Oh well. I switched them. Well, that's the one that I'm going to do. If you did the other one, that's fine. But I went 7 units right and I went 2 units down. Any question on that one? But yeah, you were supposed to go 2 right and 7 down. Would you get the same picture if you switched the 7 and the 2? No, that makes a difference. Okay. All right, let's try this one and see if we can do it right. At least I can do it right. Graph the image of triangle STU after 4 left and 5 up. So we're going to go 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What would that point be called? Or what would be the name of it? Yep, that would be T prime. All right, let's do the same with you. So 4 units left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up. Okay, and the name of that point? U prime. Very good. And now let's do S. 4 left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we call that one S prime. Okay, once we get each of our points, those are called the vertices of the triangle, what's the last thing I need to do? Yeah, you got to connect all your points. Yep. So just connect them all. Just like that. So any question on a translation? Just moves it left, right, up, or down. All right. And the second kind of transformation we're going to look at is a reflection. So a reflection you can think of as it's like a mirror image. So let's say that I had the letter B, okay, and I wanted to reflect it. If I had a dotted line right there and I reflected it, it's like taking that letter and flipping it. So it would look like this. That's a reflection. I can also do the same thing. Instead of flipping it left to right, okay, that's called a horizontal reflection, we can flip it up and down. So that would look something like, if I had a triangle like that, and I flip it up to down, instead of the triangle pointing up, the triangle would be pointing down when you flip it. Okay, that's a reflection. Okay, so the easiest way to find the new points on a reflection is first read the problem and look what they're asking you to reflect over. Okay. What are they asking me to reflect over in example 3? What does it say to reflect over? Yep. The y-axis. So if you want to imagine putting a dotted line right there, that's the line you're gonna take that and you're gonna flip it right over that line. Okay, easiest way to do it is look at each point and measure how many units it is away from the line you're flipping over. Let's start with n. How many units away is n from that red dotted line? 3. And it's 3 units to the right. When you flip it, it's still going to be 3 units away, but it's going to be 3 units to the left. Yep. So just count 3 units in exactly the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3. And that is n prime. Okay. Let's do m. How many units is m from the red dotted line that we're flipping over?
6.
It's 6, and right now it's 6 to the right. So when we flip it, it's going to be 6 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So n goes to n prime, m goes over to m prime. If I switch the m prime and the n prime, would that be right? No. No. When you flip it, the m ends up to the left of the n. Okay, it has to be that way. Okay, now let's do the k. How many units is k from the dotted line? 3, and it's to the right. So go 3 the opposite way. Okay, in this case, opposite way means left. 1, 2, 3. So there's k. And how many units is L from the dotted line?
6 to the right.
6 to the right, so we're going to go 6 to the left. 3, 4, 5, 6. That is your new shape. Now, could you get that exact shape by taking that rectangle and just sliding it to the left? Would it be exactly the same?
Yeah.
In terms of, I mean, everything, the sides and the labels for all the vertices. No. If you just took this and slid it to the left, the n would be to the left of the m. That's not true when you reflect it. Okay? So there is no way to get that picture without taking it and flipping it. You cannot translate it. Okay, so that's a reflection. And let's try one more reflection. This time they want me to flip it over. What do they want me to flip it over this time?
The x-axis.
The x-axis. Yep. Okay, so the way we're going to flip it is find the distance that each point is from the red dotted line, and then do that distance the other way. Okay? All right. How many units is G from the line we're flipping over?
3.
And it's 3 which way? G is 3 units down. So G prime is going to be 3 units up. Yep. 1, 2, 3. There's G prime. How many units is F from our dotted line?
3 down.
3 down, so F prime is going to be 3 up. 1, 2, 3. And D, how many units is D from the line we're going to flip over? Ten, and it's 10 which way?
Down.
Down, so D prime is going to be 10 up. So there's D prime. And then once we get 3 out of 4 of them, we know the shape is a rectangle. We can kind of just figure out where the last one goes. That's E prime. Okay. And connect all your points. And there's your shape. Any questions on that? All right. So now let's. This is one like this on the MCAS, where they ask you to do 2 things at the same time. Okay. Like take a point, shift it, and then reflect it. Let's take. And for this one, I'm just going to use a single dot. Let's say we had this point. Let's call that point A. I want to do 2 things to it. I want to shift up 3. That'll be the first one. And then I want to reflect over the y-axis. You always want to do the transformations in the order they list them. So what's the first one that I would do there?
Shift up 3.
Yep, shift up 3. So A goes 1, 2, 3. And what could we call that point?
A prime.
We'll call it A prime. Okay, so that's our first step. And now it says to reflect over the y-axis. Okay. Which way does the y-axis go? Is that the left and right or up and down?
Up and down.
Up and down. So we're going to flip the A prime over that dotted blue line. How many units is A prime from the dotted line?
4.
Yep, 4 units to the
Right.
to the right. So we're going to go 4 units
To the left.
to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what could we call that point?
A double.
A double prime. So it's called double prime because you transformed it twice. So that would be the answer, just shifting A up 3 and then reflecting over the y-axis. Any question on that one? All right. Now, they don't talk a lot about rotations, but there is one question on the MCAS. If you rotated something, there's 2 directions you can rotate. We don't use up, down, left, and right when we describe rotation. Anybody know the 2 directions you use when you're describing rotation? Yeah?
Clockwise.
Right, clockwise and counterclockwise. So if I told you to rotate something 90 degrees clockwise, we don't have to figure out where it would be. What they ask you about is how you would undo that. How would you undo rotating 90 degrees clockwise? Like what would be the reverse?
90 degrees counterclockwise.
Rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise. As far as rotation, that's the only question on the MCAS that you need to know how to do. Okay. All right. Any questions on rotations, which we didn't really do a lot of, but how about the translations or reflections?